Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I am Eleanor and today I am doing a pantry clean out and reorganize. This has been bothering me for ages. This is a midweek pantry tackle because it's been bothering me that much. So that's just a look at all of the shelves and I'm going to do my best. I'm really sorry that I'm standing in front of the camera for a bit of this footage. It's actually really annoying, but we have a corner pantry with a bit of a silly sort of connector door. It is not ideal. I've been looking at ways to, I don't know, change it. So it's just something that's really tricky. I actually want to put in some LED strips in there too, because as you can see, we get quite a lot of shadow from the above shelves. Into the back. So I really can't use the back of the shelving that well. And we still have our downlights on, as you can see, sort of shining into the cupboard as best we can. But yeah, I just feel like we just don't get full use of it. It's great in terms of capacity. There's a lot that can fit in there, but it's just such an awkward space to get into. Yeah, that it makes it a little bit tricky. So I was just doing shelf by shelf because this is an after work job and I really wasn't sure how much energy I would have. So I was this snack shelf in particular was one I really wanted to get sorted. I had those two clear containers from I think I had them in my linen press at some stage, and the one with the one closest to the camera you can see is one I used to have in my previous pantry. So that's come in handy. And again, just wanted to use what I already had. And so I shopped around in my cupboard first to see what containers I already had and reuse those. So I was combining and getting rid of some of the empty boxes. So I do get rid of quite a few boxes, but also empty jars. I think in my other video I told you that I love collecting jars. In my tea and coffee cupboard clean out. And yes, true to my word, I do love jars. So there's quite a few jars that come out of my pantry that are empty and just haven't been refilled. So I do refill some of them with things that we eat, but I'm also finding it really relieving or a bit of a weight off my shoulders just to get rid of some of the food in there that is either out of date or that we never ate, someone gave us, or yeah, we just never ended up eating. So I think, yeah, as you get older, tell me if you feel this way, but you kind of know what you're going to eat. And you know what your family eats, so you tend to just gravitate towards those products all the time. You might try new things every now and again, but for the most part, you know what you're going to eat and what you're not. So, yeah. So anyway, this was a bit of a trial and error to see what's going to fit, what we could put everywhere, because I was also conscious of the snacks we go for all the time, and I really wanted to make that as efficient as possible. And believe me, I was even trying to think about what I see first when I open the cupboard, or what Tom will see first, so that he will go towards the nuts and dried fruit versus the chips and the tiny teddies and things like that, and biscuits. So I was trying to be a little bit strategic, which was actually difficult because, yeah, I still wanted it to be easy to find everything and easy to access. So, yeah, anyway, I did my best here. So I did finish up to the top shelf in this clean. I didn't do a full clean. This was just a declutter and reorganization. I really didn't want to bite off more than I could chew, especially midweek and after work. So if that's something that you've been wanting to do, I highly recommend that. I did a shelf at a time because I also thought I don't want to overcommit, take everything out and just look at it and get completely overwhelmed and just go, I don't have time for this, or I don't have the energy for it. So yeah, that's why I did one shelf at a time. I know it's not the KonMari way, but I was still incredibly happy with how this turned out. And as you can see, I can pull that out from the corner. So that was a really good reorganization of my snack shelf. I do move on to my baking shelf above. So I'll let you guys watch that, and I will see you again soon. With this baking area, I had quite a lot of extra packets to empty out back into the containers. So I bought all these white topped containers and got my label machine out from our old house and had our pantry sort of revamped then. So I really enjoyed doing that. It makes me feel good, especially all my baking stuff is in, matching containers. I really like that. They're easy to use, they're easy to open. In particular, those tall square ones that have got like the clip lid, none of them have failed me at all. They've all been really, really good containers. So I was just playing around with, again, what I call prime real estate in certain areas, whether it's the linen cupboard, the bathroom cupboard, or the kitchen pantry, is stuff that you go for all the time. I did want to put all of my sugars together, but to be honest, I don't use caster sugar and brown sugar very often, or icing sugar. So they kind of found their way to the back and I chose to have the white sugar and my flours at the front because I do make pancakes every single Sunday, and yeah, it just made sense. So as much as I wanted to group them, to make sense product wise, it just didn't make sense for me and how often I use them. So yeah, so have a think about how it could work for you. You might use totally different items. You might use your coconut all the time, whereas I don't really use it that often. It is just something I have in the back of the cupboard. So I was really happy with how that turned out, and I used that clear container to group together some of the smaller items as well. So that was really useful. That clear container though might not stay. That was just a temporary thing because I wanted to be able to see through it. But I did just choose that because I don't use that one very often. And again, I was trying to use what I had. So that's why I use that. I'm onto this like condiments and jarred canned goods type of shelf. This is where, I keep my pasta, my rice, my sauces, and our canned stuff. So yeah, it was kind of like we'd been given different things, different products that honestly had been sitting there since we moved. And yeah, never touched it. Tried to cook with it once and couldn't find a recipe that I would like. So I actually just let it sit there. So I was thinking how good it is that these shelves are so tall. I was thinking at first maybe they're a waste of space because they're so tall, but I'm really glad that all of our oils and taller containers and bottles fit in here. In our last pantry, it was such a pain in the backside not being able to fit them, and they all had to go up with like the cereals. So I thought that was really painful to work around. It really bothered me that they couldn't be all together. So in this pantry, I'm really glad they can be all together. So I was just literally going through and pulling everything into the containers I already had. So they were just empty. I just hadn't filled them back up again. So that felt really good to get that sorted and get things just brought back together. So I hope this has motivated you to take a look at your pantry. Even if you can only do one shelf, that's probably a good place to start. That's definitely what I aim to do tonight, and I actually got more done than I thought, and I actually got quicker at it. You'll probably see all the boxes that I've been filming periodically as we go along that I actually got rid of out of the pantry, and it was a lot. And there was quite a few products that I just popped in the bin because they were out of date. They either had moths in them because they hadn't been sealed properly. So I do need to invest in some new containers at some stage, but at the moment I think I'm doing okay with what we use. Yeah, and because it's a corner pantry, I sort of thought we might need to go down the route of getting some corner drawers put in. That would be really handy. But yeah, after this, I'm kind of happy with what we've got in there. I don't have a whole lot of bulk stuff that I need, but yeah, I've got some things in there. So yeah, thanks again for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one. Have a great week, guys. Bye.